Good morning. I'm Stephanie Kleinberg, women's health coach and creator of the Know Your Cycle Challenge. As a special thank you for joining me for this video, I want to let you in on a secret. You are one of the first to know about this challenge that I'm launching in the new year, which is going to teach you everything that you always wanted to know about your menstrual cycle, plus how to connect the dots between your period and your health and fertility so that you could take a proactive stance in those two important areas of your life. So if you want to join me, I'm going to click the link below, and you can just click on that to sign yourself up. So this is the third of our Let's Talk Period series. This cycle chat is all about how to navigate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a big holiday in the United States with an emphasis on food. Hey, Kato, thank you. It's great to see you too. I miss you. A big emphasis on food, and as we've been talking about in this series, food has an important role and plays an important role in your menstrual health and fertility. So what I thought I'd do today is share some of my tips on how I navigate Thanksgiving, and this can apply to any holiday. I know I've lived in Europe and in South America, and that around the holidays food is certainly kind of the center a lot of times of our gathering, so the same advice can be applied to any important food-focused event that you go to. All right, so the first thing that I do actually happens the night before, and that is that I get myself really hyped up for the next day. And I'm not talking about hyped up about the food. I get myself really hyped up about who I'm going to see and what I am dying to talk to them about. This is very different than what I used to do many years ago. Many years ago, what I would do is get myself really hyped up about the food, or I would just go into this holiday with no agenda. And what would happen is that I either went in with that tunnel vision and got completely focused on the food and just found myself overeating to the point that I didn't feel good, or I would have no agenda and I'd be that person in the corner just hanging out with the food and really miss out on my family and also end up feeling full and really eating in a way that didn't feel good for my body then, and certainly didn't set me up to have that healthy menstrual cycle feel good all month long. So get yourself really psyched up about who you're going to see and think of a few points, talking points that you want to speak through with certain people who are coming, right? What these holidays really are about are connection and our loved ones. And that too plays an important role in our health. A lot of studies have been done showing the importance and really how much of a factor feeling connected, having that community and relationships, what a factor it plays in your health. The second thing is really about taking full advantage of my morning. The day of Thanksgiving, I wake up and I work out. This year I'm going to be doing a weighted workout, so weightlifting, and my two favorite people to work out with are Carolyn Banner of Body by Banner and also Jade Tita. He has a whole line of exercise videos, and Carolyn has a whole YouTube channel with tons of videos, so you can go right to them for some workouts if you want to do that. But what lifting weights does is it just makes me feel confident in my body. So that's a good start. It makes me feel connected to my body. So throughout the day, it's not just about the food, but it's also more of that mindfulness of checking in. How am I feeling? Do I want this? Don't I? Am I full? Am I not? So it really sets me up for that. After I work out, I take a shower, I blow dry my hair because nothing feels better than having your hair blown out and feeling good about your hair. So I'll blow dry my hair and then I'll put an outfit on, an outfit that I feel really, really good in. So I encourage you to do the same, right? Really trying to head into this day feeling as confident and beautiful as possible can really put a different perspective on the day and make you much more mindful and centered around the choices that you're making, instead of kind of going in and not feeling good, and then because you're frustrated that you're not feeling good, maybe reaching for food as a way of dealing with that. So you really want to go into that day feeling like you're glowing, feeling grounded, feeling confident. And so I'll work out, I'll take a shower, I'll blow dry my hair, and it could be whatever feels good for you. Maybe it's putting red lipstick on for you, right? Whatever is your thing. Just making yourself feel good, and then getting dressed in an outfit that you feel really good in. Then after that, this year, I'm going to snuggle up on the couch and watch some of the parade with my daughter before we have to get ready and our guests come over. So our guests come around noon on Thanksgiving, and the third thing that I want to share with you is how I navigate the food that day. So we are Greek and Italian roots. Living in America, it is a big focus on food. We have a lot of people that come, over 20 people, with a whole range of preferences when it comes to food. So we have a really big spread out. And first we have appetizers. That I kind of treat as lunch, and after that we have a dinner later on. And so within my morning routine, I did forget to mention, but I have a really good breakfast, and I will always try to get some protein in and some veggies in that breakfast, so eggs usually, and some sauteed veggies, and some sort of steady digesting carb, which would be a sweet potato, right? I might even have, what I'll get to in a minute, what I'm going to make for dessert is a pumpkin spice custard. I might even have a few bites of that in the morning with breakfast to kind of preempt that craving that I'm going to have, or that desire that I'm going to want to have for something really, more indulgent and sweet later on. So I might have that with breakfast to kind of get it out of the way. And also just indulge it and enjoy it when I'm not so full, as I will be later on. But anyway, so noon comes and my family is all together. We have a spread of appetizers. One of the things that we have is butternut squash soup. So if you've been part of the cleanse with me, you've done the 5-day reset with me, you have that recipe. That will be on our Thanksgiving appetizer table. We also have things like cured meats and cheese, crackers and baked brie cheese. We have hummus and vegetables. We have dates stuffed with goat cheese. Those are our usual kind of appetizer spreads, and those that we'll be having this year. So I will go over and have a nice bowl of butternut squash soup to start off. And after that, I'll fill my plate with some hummus, some cut up vegetables, and I might have a piece of cheese, I might not, but I will then allow myself a few indulgences. And so my favorite indulgence from the appetizer table is the stuffed medjool dates. They're amazing. They're stuffed with goat cheese, so I'll have one, maybe two of those, and that will be my appetizers. And the rest of the time, what I'm really going to be doing is enjoying my family that I don't get to see that often during the year. Then, after appetizers, a group of us will always go outside. We'll take a nice walk together, maybe a wagon ride with my daughter, or we'll play football. So I'll get outside for some fresh air, some sunshine, some movement, always a good thing. A nice way to kind of take a break and check in with how you're feeling, move around a little bit, all good things, especially on the holiday. And the last thing, we will sit down to dinner around 4 o'clock, traditional turkey dinner, and just laughing at that dinner, because when I was living in Argentina, I used to cook that for my family, and they would always be amazed at how much food. So it really is a lot of food on the table. But I'll always fill my plate with a half a plate of greens, so some salad. We also make Brussels sprouts and string beans, so I'll really load up my plate with that. And then on the other side of my plate, I'll have a nice serving of turkey, and I really do it up with the turkey, gravy and cranberry sauce, right? Really loving it, trying to really make a plate that you love. And then in that rest of my plate, I'll allow for a few indulgences. That is usually sweet potato pie, and a corn casserole that my mother makes, a Pauladine corn casserole, so I don't need to say any more. You know what that's like. But I'll have a little piece of that, a scoop of sweet potato pie, and that's my plate. And I really try to go in with the idea that I'm going to have one plate and not go back for second helpings. Even if I decide to break that rule, I don't hold myself to it too strictly, but even since I have that rule, what it does is it just reminds me to check in before I go back for more. Do I want the seconds? Do I really want the seconds? If I do, great. If I don't, cool. Then I don't. And then, as I mentioned, we have dessert following that, and I'll always have a nice herbal tea. And I may or may not have a dessert. I usually will. The dessert with me is always about bringing something that is on the side of real foods. So as you could see during this day, the things that I typically pass on are refined carbohydrates, bread, cookies, that type of thing. It doesn't need to be what you pass on. I think the main idea here is allowing yourself some indulgence, and that's what you really love. For me, what I love are some of those other things over typical bread and things like that, typical pumpkin pie. So I make a spiced pumpkin custard every year for Thanksgiving. The recipe is on my blog, and I'll link to that in the comments below. But that is my go-to dessert for Thanksgiving, and we'll be serving that this year. And many of the guests, we have a few guests that are dairy-free, and then a few that would, don't like to stray into the zone of dairy-free or gluten-free, but they really enjoy that custard. So I feel like it's a nice one, an easy one to bring if you're going to a gathering with people who have all sorts of preferences, food preferences, and that's totally fine. So I'll have a few bites of that. I might share it with my husband or my daughter, and just enjoy the rest of the day with my family. After all of that, we usually like to hang out and play some games. And so it really is a beautiful, beautiful day for me. And it has taken a long time, many, many years, to get to this place where I can fully enjoy the holiday and also eat in a way that feels good. Not just feels good that day, but really sets me up to feel good all month long, because as we've talked about, what we eat affects our menstrual cycle, not just how we feel throughout the month, but also during our period. So I'm really always focused on eating in a way that's going to support my hormones and my menstrual cycle. Thank you for joining me. It was great to see so many of you on the call. Thank you for the hearts. I wish you all a really fabulous, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you next week.